Candidate Profiles, brought to you by Millis Community Media. I'm Peter Themistocles. I'm a member of the Millis Community Media Board of Directors, and I'm happy to host these profiles. Our Candidate Profile series is designed to help you, the Millis voter, become better acquainted with the candidates in this May's local election. All the candidates in this year's election cycle are running unopposed. They are all invited to our studios for 20 minutes to answer questions on behalf of Millis residents. I'll ask the questions, and we'll allow approximately 2 minutes for each answer before moving on to the next question. Each candidate will also have up to 2 minutes at the start and at the finish for opening and closing statements. And now joining me now is Rebecca Hughes, a candidate running for Library Trustees' 3-year term. Hi, Becky. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Peter. I'm excited to be here.
Well, great. And please take it away with your opening statement.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca Hughes, and I'm running for Library Trustee. My husband, Aaron, and I have been living in Millis since 2015. I am a parent of 2 great kids. My daughter is a current first grader at Clyde Brown Elementary, and my son will be an incoming kindergartner this fall. I serve as a parent volunteer for the Home and School Association at CFB and help coordinate curriculum enhancements, which entails planning with teachers and staff to bring various external education programs to our school. I work full-time as a creative director for a company called HonorCraft. We create donor recognition, displays, and custom awards. I attended the Rhode Island School of Design and currently serve as the RISD alumni chapter leader for the Boston area, along with being part of the RISD Fund Steering Committee. I'm also a board member of the New Urban Arts in Providence, which supports after-school art programs for high school students. My family and I love going to the Millis Library. They have great programs, it's a beautiful space, and we enjoy the staff and the wide variety of offerings. I believe in the importance of continually making spaces like our library accessible, educational, and a place that supports curiosity. Since a young age, I've always loved going to the library, and both of my parents, especially my mom, were very engaged with the programs and supporting our local library in Cranston, Rhode Island. To this day, they continue with various attendance and support. I am interested in serving as a trustee because I want to be part of Millis's continued success by providing my knowledge, my passions, and expertise in getting things done. I would like to help support and oversee the needs of the responsibilities of our library director, our staff, our building, and our budget. I understand the important role and responsibility of a trustee, and I'm excited to be part of this group. I would be honored to be elected. Thank you for your consideration.
Fantastic. Let's dig right in. First question from a Millis resident. Can you briefly describe and define the role of the library trustee?
Sure. So my understanding of the role is that the library director is in charge of being responsible for the staff and the building and the budget, and then the trustee group is actually responsible to the director's role and their review. So we both, there's a fiscal responsibility in looking and reviewing the budget, understanding the maintenance and care of the actual building, and then supporting the programs that happen within that space, and also giving suggestions of what could better or enhance what we're currently doing. We also have the Friends of the Millis Library, which are kind of parallel together. They're not necessarily the same thing. So we kind of work in tandem. But my understanding is that the trustees actually have a fiduciary fiscal responsibility to the library, the budget, and because it's run with the town, we attend town hall meetings. We are the voice and a representation of the community, so I can serve as an ambassador and advocate for people to come and talk to me about things they're interested in, any issues they're having, and just, like what's going on at the library. I think also as a young parent, it's really important to promote what's happening at the library because some parents are so busy, or people are like, I wish I heard about that. And I have 2 young kids, so I constantly looked for free programs, summer programs, reading time. We loved going to story time. There's a great playroom, and for such an amazing, small town, we have a really cool library. I'm quite proud of it because I was like, wow, look at this. And having grown up in Cranston, I've had some nice access to things.
So the next question is a perfect segue, right?
Yeah.
What are some, as a trustee then, what are some of the programs and resources you feel make our library unique?
So I love that we have the Millis Memory Cafe. I think that's really important for all of our residents as well as neighboring communities. I think it's lovely that there's movies and things for different age groups. So we have middle schoolers, high schoolers, we have young students and children that are not yet in school. So, preschool, maybe stay-at-home parents. I actually really love that it's clean and it's an inviting environment for people who might want to actually use a study room to do a work Zoom. I've done that. I've also seen people use the printers as well as, I mean, I know nobody's faxing, but I actually saw a woman asking to fax something. And so,
Occasionally you need to fax.
yeah, occasionally you need to fax. So I think it's outstanding that we're keeping up with things that are offered at other libraries as well as utilizing the spaces. It's constantly busy on the events calendar. So I had helped host with some other first grade parents a candy cane social, and it was great that we got on the calendar. Kim Tolson and Rachel Silverman were excellent in helping us. But it's constantly filled with programs and events and things, you know, during school breaks, the summer, the weekends. You know, there's things that are too advanced or older for my daughter to attend, but I can't wait for her to be able to go to them.
Excellent. What are some of the challenges the library is facing now, and how can the trustees address them?
Some of the things that I heard at the last meeting I attended is because we do have middle schoolers or students that attend the library after school, understanding kind of how that space is used over time and what the staff responsibility is, as well as how we can find others in the community like high school students to help those middle schoolers have some guidance or even more programs. I think, you know, I was there in that space and found that on certain days there can be a lot of commotion. And libraries are not always loud and noisy, but when you have children or people in spaces that are, you need to kind of work with everyone to make it a place that's inviting and welcoming, right? So if I'm trying to read in the corner or I'm with younger children, like what's appropriate and what's, you know, who's doing what. And because it's public, it is really a space for everyone. So as I understood it with some of the director's feedback and the staff, they're really trying to incorporate more of that. And so I actually saw on the website how they were posting on their Facebook page as well, like looking for high school students to come into the space to guide middle schoolers or to be there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My Ridge Street neighbor asks, aside from the beautiful Millis Library and the public meeting space, what is your favorite local library in terms of resources and programs? What ideas can Millis borrow from that library?
Yeah, that's a great question.
My clever neighbor.
Your clever neighbor. So I've gone to the Medfield Public Library, right in the center of the town of Medfield. And one of the things that I love about that library is in their lower basement, they have an official maker space, but it's not just about 3D printing or things like that. They have scissors, paper, punch embroidery. They have a slew of things that you can just sit there for free and use everything. So if you like to scrapbook, if you like to 3D print with like a little doodler pen, my daughter and I did it and it was wonderful because everything, they actually had lots of inventory and stock of those tools and materials, and it was all free to use. If you wanted to ask questions on how to do it, there was staff to help you. There was actually all books about cross-stitching and paper mache and how to use a Cricut. Right? So there's things that I don't even know how to do. And the fact that it's there, it's an open room, it's excellent. I wish we had one of those, and just very intensely to be like, whether you like to draw or you want to do Play-Doh or, you know, bake clay, they had a lot of stuff that I was envious of.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very good, thank you. Next question, in 3 years' time, so April 2027.
That's it, yeah.
What would you like to see at the Millis Library in 3 years that is not there now?
I think we have some really beautiful outside spaces, and I'm wondering if we can incorporate maybe some more things that are in the community that live inside there. So for example, we have Tangerini's Spring Farm, and I think there is the beautiful butterfly garden in the front, but wouldn't it be cool to have maybe some raised beds with vegetables and other things that could be a teaching tool? I don't know if that's maybe been already discussed, but I've done some outside programs there in the summer. They blow bubbles, there's musicians and things like that. But maybe that could incorporate kind of sustainability, growing, also supporting local communities and companies and businesses. I think that's fun. It just so happens that family is part of the elementary school. So we like to go there, it's nearby, it's a really cool thing.
It is,
Yeah. I also think we should just be mindful about what types of books are in our library and continually making sure we're understanding what students want, what everybody wants to read, right? It's not just for students, it's for everyone. And I think having access to all of those things, whether it be a podcast or, you know, a streaming element that you can rent or borrow easily. I borrow a lot of magazines from there because I love reading magazines in my spare time. I borrow a lot of books for my children. So knowing that there's the classics as well as all the other authors, illustrators, and really hot items that people want to read, right?
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
Excellent. And the last question, and this one is interesting. We've come a long way since the old card catalogs in our library. Wondering now what your thoughts on how AI, artificial intelligence, might affect or impact the way we conduct research, find texts, and original source materials in our libraries.
Being a creative person, AI is in the field, and there are very positive things about it as well as things that are worrisome.
Yeah.
I'm excited by AI because I do think there's some great learning and tools that come from it, and we can get smarter with how we use it and how we delegate the task of it. But I am interested in ensuring that people and children know how to kind of research and identify work from things that are valid resources. So I think it's a shame when I look at the World Book Encyclopedias and probably no students that I know or children are touching them, and they're just Googling, I'm Googling, and going on Wikipedia and saying, are those valid resources? Because maybe if you go to law school or you have to cite an English paper, MLA style, formatting, the language, you know, nowadays there's lots of things where AI or social media and digital tools are affecting the way we read and talk and write. And I think it's important that we utilize the positive and understand the negative parts of AI and fold it into what we're doing at the library, and possibly think about if we can use it to train it to then help us research better in a qualified way.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
No, that's well articulated.
Thanks.
That's,
Thanks.
For what is an interesting and sort of this question is different than the others.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
that sense, but it's certainly it's
Yeah.
interesting. What is certainly on folks' minds.
Right, and I still use the Minuteman catalog to say, like, I'm looking for David Sedaris books. What are all the books, or what's the new Malcolm Gladwell? You know, so if AI replaced that, or is there something else? Because then it would actually maybe become more accessible to all types of users. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could debate the philosophical merits, I suppose, all night long. Okay, I think that is the end of our questions. And Rebecca Hughes, thank you for joining our candidate profile series.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And thank you, Millis residents, for watching. You now have your 2-minute closing statement.
Sure. So thank you for everyone's time today. It's been really wonderful to kind of talk with you all. I also really appreciate and would be honored to serve in this role. So thank you so much, and I look forward to it.
Great. Thanks, Rebecca, for joining our candidate profile series. Of course, don't forget to attend town meeting on May 7th at the high school.